Hello YouTube, YTPC, Smoking Buddy Matt, back again. Just sitting out, enjoying a beautiful Sunday morning. Well, as I say that, it is just past noon, so Sunday afternoon. I don't have my temperature widget showing, as if it matters, but it's very pleasant. Yeah, I was trying not to make this video too long, but it may be anyway. Yeah, 72. Absolutely perfect weather to sit out. A little bit of shade here. Hopefully the light's okay. I've noticed on this camera with low light, a couple times it'll flicker. Well, there's a fix for that, and I changed that setting, so hopefully it'll be better. Enjoying some coffee there. Yeah, isn't it nice to have this? Just to get away from those, escape from life's annoyances, concerns, for at least a little bit. Mentioned the camera, dealing with a minor annoyance, a technology issue. The same thing that allows us to come together within the YTPC, do what we do, can also be a bit of a headache. So last couple times that I have used my video editor, which by the way I'm currently using Windows Video Editor, which has now become Windows Photo Legacy, because they're really pushing you to use their new program Clipchamp, which I've used a bit, but the video editor was so easy to use for what I do. I just like using it. But anyway, so I knew video editor was being surpassed by Clipchamp, but I signed on one day, I think it was last weekend, to edit a video, and I find out the video editor was just gone. Like, you could access your photos, but you had to go download their new, now known as Photos Legacy, it's just video editor. And that was an annoyance, because it was kind of, why wouldn't you just have it still available? But to find it, download it, that was an annoyance. So then, I think I did one video, no problem. Well, I went and did another video. It wasn't a big deal. I ended up having to splice two clips together, like super basic in editing. So then I export the final video out of Video Editor, and the audio is out of sync. So I go back to the original video file, and the audio there is fine, but when I export it, it was out of sync. Well, honestly, I didn't have time, and I didn't really want to just go back and redo the whole video, so I think that was the box opening. I just uploaded it. Yeah, audio's out of sync a bit. Oh well. Well, then I went and I did my smoke rings video. And, I had the music in there. So my plan was, I wasn't going to edit that. I had the music pulled up on my computer, and I was just going to play it in the background. Well, when I went back and reviewed the video, none of the music came through. Like, you can hear just like a little bit of the beginning, and then I don't know if it's a noise canceling feature or something, but you couldn't hear any of it. So I thought, okay, I'll put it in video editor and just add the music, which I did. Well, there again, when I exported the video, the audio toward the end is out of sync, and apparently there's a feature in, I think it has to do with Windows Media Player, that you can set it to drop the frame rate to reduce lag from the audio, which is probably what's happening. This computer is not the fastest. I have another laptop that's better. It's a little out of commission right now because some of the keys don't work. Yeah, I spilled some water on it. Well, more accurately, it was a little bit of bourbon followed by a little bit of water. Anywho. Well, then on top of that, a little more concerning is my cat's been sick this weekend. And of course, we don't have many vets around here that would be open Sunday. There is one across town. My regular vet was actually open yesterday morning, but I wasn't at the point where I felt like we needed to go to a vet, and then by the time I decided it was probably a good idea, they're closed. And there was no guarantee I could get in yesterday anyway. Sometimes they don't have a doctor available. But it's just a bit concerning because it's a big change in behavior for her. And I don't want to get into this too much, but if I take her to the one across town, I'm probably going to have to go to my vet this week anyway. So I'm hoping just to get through, drop her off tomorrow morning before work, which unfortunately the office is not open before I normally start work, so we're going to have to call in to get that. You know, these are things. Our pets are like our family, for sure. I've lost pets before. I've lost cats, dogs. But it's not easy. And she's old. She's over 17. So anyway, I don't want to get too into that. This video is getting long already. What I wanted to talk about today was just like a brief overview of what I'm doing with my deep dive on Virginias. And I don't really want to get into any tasting impressions on this video because it's already going to be way too long of a video. I just want to do a brief introduction on kind of the blends I'm working with, the main ones I'm focusing on, kind of the ones I'm kind of working in between, along with the pipes I'm going to be using. So with that, I should introduce, this is not one of the regular pipes, but it's in the rotation. So this is my second Savinelli Series 3 129. I've shown the other one, which is the oldest and most smoked. But this is only a year newer than that one. And in this, I actually have the Capstan Blue. It's the Ready Rub version. This is only my second bowl of it. So I'm still forming that impression of tasting notes. So I'll talk about that later. So let's get into I've shown these before. Just set the pipe down. I've got three main blends that I'm really trying to explore. So the first one I have shown before. This is Orlik Golden Sliced, which I've had previously. Thought it was okay, wasn't really into it. Thought I'd give that another chance, just based on seeing some recent videos earlier this year. People always talk about Orlik Golden Sliced and how great it is, and how it's always one of those go-to Virginia blends. It's a Virginia Perique, and I thought, well, you know what? I think it's worth another try. See if my impression has changed, and it has a little bit. I did enjoy it. I'll talk about that more in another video, but yeah, definitely enjoyed that first about an ounce or so. So the second main blend I am exploring is Peterson Flake, formerly Dunhill Flake. I call it Dunhill Flake. To me, this will always be Dunhill Flake. And I went with that one because, again, I only had one tin of this previously, but in my opinion, it was excellent. I think I called it, and I still kind of recognize that, to me, this is maybe the penultimate Virginia blend. That may not be everyone's opinion. I'm not doing a Scudo in this. I've had one sample of a Scudo, which is a tiny segment to sample. Didn't do much for me. Maybe in the future. But I wanted to put Orlik, which was kind of one I didn't think was all that great or didn't do a lot for me, against one that I did think was really good. And so far I am continuing with that. I feel that the Peterson Flake it's way up there. Okay, so the third main Virginia blend that I'm kind of diving into and having it today for the first time, like I said, this is the second bowl, so very early on, but that is the Capstan Blue, and this is ready rubbed. The other ones are flakes, and could have got Capstan Blue in the flake, but how much of a difference in flavor that really makes, I don't know. There may be a very slight difference, but I feel like my preference is for ready rubbed. So if it's available in a ready rub form, I'm gonna go with that. Now, with that said, I found in many cases I like to rub out a blend even a little more. Like, this is only maybe halfway what I would prefer as far as a rubbed out flake. It's definitely broken up in there, but I rub it out even more. So my plan, and I'll get to the other ones here in just a moment, but these are the main ones I'm focusing on, and they are pouch worthy, right? So I bought this tobacco pouch, and for this kind of deep dive on Virginias, and so my thought was, like, I take Orlik, take about an ounce of Orlik, put it in the pouch, and basically rub it out in the pouch, so it basically becomes a ready rubbed. And over, it takes about a week to go through that, and over that time it's going to dry out a bit. I find that tins need to be open for about a week. That goes for pretty much every blend. The initial flavor when you open a tin may not be representative of what you're going to find a week later, 3 weeks later. It kind of develops a little bit over time. Maybe as it dries out a bit, it's just exposed to the air. So my plan was I put about an ounce in here, rub it out, then this becomes my daily blend. Like, this is the first thing I reach for. Pack a pipe, enjoy that, and I might go to something else. Now I am not only doing Virginias during this. I'm focusing on Virginias, but I may go to a burley. I may go to an aromatic. Um, I'm not changing my pipe smoking habits up that much, other than I'm focusing on Virginias. So I'm pretty much self-avowed as a burley guy. Love burley blends. H. McBaron Burley Flake is one of my favorites, although Solani aged Burley Flake, and I might have to try that again. I did not personally enjoy that all that much. I should probably revisit that. But Codger blends, Prince Albert, Carter Hall, things like that, they really do it for me. So that's mainly, as well as like Haunted Bookshop, Old Joe Krantz, something like that. That's mainly where I live within my pipe smoking life. So I wanted to get on to Virginias and find out a little more about them, although the impressions I've had I have found to be true, but I really haven't focused on that. So let's move on to some of the blends I'm kind of mixing in here and there. First one I have, this is Sutliff Matured Red Virginia. I might have had a bowl of this so far. I don't remember it. I haven't had much. It's still... So this is supposed to be kind of an alternative to the McClellan's 5100 red cake. Although even in the description it says it's not going to be exactly like that. But my understanding is that the 5100 red cake really did have that kind of vinegary, very tart, sour note, and this has that. So I wanted to get it to kind of mix it in. I think that pairs well, honestly, with this. This is the Cornell and Deal Carolina Red Flake. I've been working through this tin for quite a while, and it's an option. It's a very high quality Virginia. It does have that sour tartness to it, so I'm not really focusing on that one, but it's there. It's an option. So another blend that I hadn't had but I've heard a little bit about recently is this. This is Sutliff Virginia Slices, designated 507C. It's just like a basic Virginia blend. Bright Virginias. I don't think there's any Perique in this. This complements Orlik Golden Sliced fairly well. So I will talk more about that in the future. Alright, now I had a lot of good suggestions when I kind of first said I was going to do something like this. A lot of really good suggestions, and I tried to gather as many as I reasonably could. The one I didn't get that I know somebody did suggest was the Cornell and Deal's Yorktown. I know that's a Virginia blend, like light and dark Virginias. I've had a tin of that in the past, and at that time, it didn't do a whole lot for me. I didn't get a lot of flavor out of it. I mean, it smoked pretty good, but it didn't do a lot for me. I might try that again in the future, but I thought I'd skip that for this one. But another suggestion was this. This is the New Minster 400, and I think that is known as Superior Navy Flake. A lot of mixed reviews on this. Some people find it harsh when it's new and really recommend a lot of aging. Now, honestly, something I find is that people recommend aging Virginia blends just kind of across the board. And I will probably do that, but I wanted to delve into these. I'm going to try them new. I'll probably end up jarring a lot of this and, have it on occasion and see how that changes. But so I just received, actually, in Smarty Bob's GAW, he sent me a sample of New Minster 400 from 2022. So that's only last year. But honestly, the difference, I've been kind of on the fence about this. neither liking it or disliking it, but the difference between this and a sample that is from last year is pretty astounding. I found the 2022 stuff had a lot more flavor coming through, kind of a bready graham cracker flavor. I've heard it described as maybe a little brown sugar molasses, not super sweet. Whereas the new stuff, I'm not getting a whole lot out of it yet, so yet to be determined. Another tin that I have, and I actually have another tin of this, so this is an option. This is one of the first Virginia blends. It's a Virginia Perique that I had and I really enjoyed it. This is GLP's Stratford. If I can get things in the camera here. GLP's Stratford is Virginia Perique. So people were kind of talking about this back when Dunhill was going off the market as an alternative to Elizabethan mixture, which I hadn't had at the time, but I was able to get this. So I got it, tried it, really liked it. It's a Virginia Perique, which Elizabethan mixture is a Virginia Perique. I think it's a little more varied. There's a little more depth of flavor, and honestly, I wasn't a big fan of Elizabethan mixture. It's right out of the tin. It's a very strong flavor. What I might describe as cigarette-y. You do hear that description on some blends, like, oh, it kind of smokes cigarette-y. I put that down to like the Red Virginia and the Perique. Kind of gives, people talk about like the burning rubber note. I don't know. I haven't delved into that much, but I would just say it tasted a little ashy at first. Now it got better, and I might try another tin one day, but I didn't include it here. I didn't feel like it fit in that well, and this is kind of one of those side options I might have occasionally, but it's not a main focus. All right, what's next? All right, so this is one I picked up. I don't know that anyone recommended this, but it's one that I saw when I was ordering, and I threw it in the cart. This is Sutliff's Sweet Virginia. Now this comes as a ready rubbed. I thought maybe this is like a ready rub version of the Virginia Slices, the 507C. And I'm here to say I don't think so. I think this is different. I think this actually smokes a bit sweeter than that. It's been really enjoyable. In fact, one thing I've been doing with this next blend, which is the Cornell and Deal, probably can't even read this. Cornell and Deal, this is Red Virginia Ribbon. I think this is what Cornell and Deal calls their Old Belt Virginia. It's basically what they use in all their blending when it calls for Red Virginia. So this is an Old Joe Krantz. It's probably in Haunted Bookshop a little bit. But this is a pretty good Red Virginia. Mixed with Sweet Virginia. It's a pretty interesting blend. It gives it, when you want to punch up your experience a bit, I think adding a little bit of that Red Virginia, it gives it a little more depth of flavor. Whereas the Sweet Virginia, I do find that really does that smoke sweet. So I just had a bit of gust of wind blow something off. Okay, and it was just pipe cleaners. Alright, so that's the blends. I'm actually going to cut this video off, and I will do a separate video on the pipes that I'm using, because we're nearing 25 minutes, and wow, I was thinking 15 minutes might be long. But appreciate you watching, and I'll be back with the pipes. Take care now.